Hello and welcome to the Doctor BMS channel. This is a channel which educates you on all matters mental health and matters to do with alcohol and substance use, prevention and treatment. So today we are going to look at a very important area of substance use, and this is substance use among our youngsters, our students in school. And the question we are asking: should people be concerned about the use of alcohol and other drugs of abuse by our students? And the simple answer is yes. We should all be concerned. All stakeholders should be concerned about the use of alcohol and other drugs of abuse by our students. This is because research has shown that the earlier anyone starts to use alcohol and drugs of abuse, the more likely they are to suffer the negative consequences of substance use. And some of these negative consequences can be life-threatening. Young people have lost their lives from the use of drugs and other substances of abuse. So any parent, any teacher, and stakeholder, the country at large should be concerned when our young students, young adults, begin to to experiment with alcohol and drugs at a very young age. First, because they are likely to get addicted to these drugs. Their brains and their bodies are still developing, and introducing psychoactive substances to their young and growing bodies have very detrimental effects and results in the long run. Unfortunately, substance use among students is not noticed or goes unnoticed for a long time, and it's only noticed when their critical incidences happen. So we want to find out, what can parents do to prevent substance use among their children before it escalates? And one of the main things our parents can do is just to be vigilant. It's just to be intentional about what their children are doing. Substance use is not very difficult to identify or to suspect if your child is using drugs. That child who is a little bit off, something doesn't seem to be right with them, then you are right, something is not right. Unfortunately, because we have busy schedules and we have other conflicting interests, some things get swept up or swept under the carpet, or they're overtaken by events. We are distracted by other demands of life as parents. And those telltale signs lead to symptoms here and there go unnoticed until something critical happens. And then we come and see, we knew it all along. We had seen the signs that something was not right. So, how can a parent start to suspect that their child is actually experimenting with substances of abuse? The main thing you will see is just change in the behavior of this child, change in their temperament. A child who was organized, a child who was available, a child who was responsible and responsive to the everyday demands in the house, suddenly or gradually starts to change. You will see a change in their temperament. They are fighting more with their siblings. They are disagreeable. They are more confrontational, even with you when you give them simple instructions. Sometimes they just do not follow the instructions because they are distracted or their interest is elsewhere. So these signs should not be taken for granted. When you see things like those telltale signs, sometimes you will catch them with smell of a certain drug. You will suspect that smell is not normal, but they will convince you. They will try very much to convince you that there's nothing going on. Use your sixth sense as a parent. Something is going on, and it is something big. A child who is not doing well in school, they might have been an average child, or they might have been an above average child. But now suddenly their grades are going down. They not what the grades they're bringing home is not commensurate with all the help they have. They go to a good school, they have good teachers, and you see their grades are coming down. There is an explanation. A child whom you're going to catch not telling the truth most of the time, they tend to misrepresent facts and tell you things which you realize, simple things. They will tell lies about simple things, like just where were you? They will tell you a completely different direction from where they were. Whom were you with? They probably will not be forthcoming on who they spent their time with or where they were and what they were doing. That is a reason for you as a parent to get concerned that something is not right. You may get reports even from their teachers that in school they are being disruptive in class, they are not attentive, because those are the common things which will come. Do not sweep these things under the carpet. Do not just assume that things will get better with time. No, they do not. They actually get worse if they are not picked at this time. When you see a child beginning to show behaviors differences like this, then you need to take a break and find out, because sometimes children are communicating to those around them. It's a cry for help that they're undergoing a crisis and they need help. So you need just to take some time, calm down, and try to come to their level and understand what they are going through. Because many people will ask, is drug use a rite of passage? Must every child use drugs at some point in their life? And the straight answer is no. Drug use is not a rite of passage. There's a lot of pressure uh, towards the young people to experiment with drugs, but not all of them, not all the young people experiment with substances of abuse. And those who do not experiment are people who have learned some values from their homes. There are people who they can stand by themselves and stand by what they know and what they think. They can dare to be different and say, no, I'm not going to partake of this behavior. So, as a parent, you need to take the lead starting very early in your child's life to guide them on their values. These values are discussed at home on a day-to-day basis. You must have a way of doing things in in your home, which is quite explicit to the children. They know what is right. They know what is expected of them, and they know what are the consequences of not doing what is right. When you set some rules, it is for you as a parent to make sure that the rules are actually followed. And when the rules are not followed, then there should be consequences for not following those rules. Because when young people get away with not doing what is expected of them or what has been required of them, then it becomes a way of life, and it becomes a way of not caring or not wanting to do to work by the rules, and they start now extending and pushing boundaries to see how much they can get away with. So substance use need not be a rite of passage. There are many youngsters who are not using drugs of abuse. There are many youngsters nowadays who are able to say no to drugs and even to help others to say no to drugs. So as parents, we need to be purposeful parents. We need to be those focused parents that we should be the ones bringing up these children who can actually be role models, who can say no to drugs and help to pass the message that it is not right to use drugs, because it is not. Substance use, especially for students, makes them not do well in school. It distracts them. It takes away their need for learning, and it takes away a lot of their time. So they are going to be spending time not reading books, not understanding what the teacher is doing. but making plans on how they are going to acquire the drug to use, how they are going to hide to use it, how they are going to make sure they are not seen. And this is not easy. It takes a lot of time and it's very destructive to the young mind. And that's how we find their grades dropping. And very soon they just become antisocial students and social pupils and social citizen in future. So we have a role as parents to bring up children who are going to be role models, to bring up responsible children and responsible citizens. So let us take this role very seriously, and with the help available, we can do it. When you find your child is not has already gone off the road, what do you do as a parent? The main point to start is just accept that your child is off the track and know that they can come back. There is help available for them to come back. Seek that help for them as early as possible. You are one of the main people who can help your child by just taking a pause, sitting down with them, and finding out what really is happening in their lives and what help they may need. Sometimes, if they are not able to talk to you, find a trusted elder, a respected person they can talk to. Maybe they can open up to and find out what is going on in their lives and how they can be helped to get out of it. If that is not working, we have professionals available. Seek professional help. Do not wait until something critical has happened, until your child has been sent away from school, until they have been gotten with drugs, and maybe they have gotten into problems with the law for you to start running around and now seeking help. So seek help as early as possible. Look out for the signs that your child may actually be using drugs. And if you suspect something is not right, the truth is something is not right. Do something about it. Help is available. Get in touch with us. We run a rehabilitation center, the Fountain of Hope Addiction Treatment Center in Syokimau. We help students even in schools. We do outpatient programs. We can guide our students, we can guide our youngsters on how to get help and how not to get addicted to drugs. Yes, substance use is not a rite of passage. Not everyone has to use drugs. And those who do not use drugs, it's because they have the right information and they have the right support. So seek help for you and your loved one, and we are here to help you. Thank you very much for your time. Remember to subscribe to the Doctor BMS channel for you to receive more of these informative videos. Thank you and good day.